All right, hydrostatic test. By definition, hydrostatic just means water. That's all it is. It's basically using water to test something. When we do a hydrostatic test on a drain system, there are multiple ways to do a hydrostatic test. There's absolutely nothing in the code book on how to do a hydrostatic test. I've been taught multiple ways to do a hydrostatic test. I have perfected my techniques. I'm one of the only plumbers I know that does the testing the way I do it, but typically we have to have cleanouts to do a test. Your plumbing system of a house is going to have all the houses, like tree branches, going to come down the trunk of the tree to one location. Not all houses come out one time, but the majority of them come out one time. So you've got one main line that's going to go through your yard to the city sewer, and it's going to connect to a city tap, which goes on to the sewer treatment plant. Well, where that pipe comes out of your house that connects all your bathrooms, all your kitchen, your laundry, your washing machine, your air conditioner, all the vents on the roof, all those pipes connect to one pipe. That pipe's going to exit your house. If your house was built typically 70s to 80s, it was city code to have cleanouts, at least one cleanout. If your house is older than that, it's kind of a crapshoot if you have cleanouts. Plumbers installed them sometimes, but it wasn't city code, it wasn't required for a city inspection. So you may or may not have cleanouts. So if there's no cleanouts outside the house, a cleanout is typically 12 to 18 inches from the house. So if there's no cleanouts outside the house, then a plumber cannot do a plumbing test on the house. A cleanout will have to be installed, which means running a camera down a drain line or a vent pipe on the roof, using a locator with a sawn on the end of it to pinpoint where the sewer exits the property, exits the building, underneath the building to the yard, then digging down, excavating 4 to 5 feet of pipe, cutting it out, installing PVC cleanouts. There'll be 2 cleanouts come up with caps, and then now you have access points. You can rotor-root the yard line, you can run a cable back up under the house, you can also access it for cameraing the yard line, you can camera up under the house. That's why houses have them nowadays, for accessibility. It's kind of like a port for a USB port for the plumbing system. So basically now we can access it. So once the cleanouts are installed, we do the hydrostatic test, we basically stop up the sewer. So I'm basically simulating a sewer stoppage. I put a code approved test ball down the cleanout, and then we fill up all the pipes underneath the house. This can take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes to fill up a system, depending on the size of the plumbing system. A typical house with a 2-bath, 1 kitchen, laundry, and AC, 10 minutes to fill it up. House that's got 6 bathrooms and upstairs and all the bells and whistles, it might take 30 minutes to fill up. It's just filling up pipes, that's all we're doing. Once the water level gets to the top of the slab, it's an observation point. It's just like filling up a glass of water. You fill it to the top, you can watch that glass of water for 20 minutes. It will not drop. It'll stay right there. Now, if you're thirsty and you take a drink, obviously it'll go down, but that glass of water will stay full. Now, if there's a little pinhole in the bottom of that pipe, or that glass of water simulating your pipes, that water level is going to go down. When that water level goes down, that indicates a leak. An average hydrostatic test for a city inspection for new construction is 20 minutes. Our test report has a 20-minute timeline on it. We watch the water for 20 minutes. In my career, I've never seen a leak that won't show itself within a 20-minute time. Now, an average house, that cleanout may only drop an inch. So on the test report in 20 minutes, it'll state it only dropped an inch. But that's all the pipes in the whole house. That's the toilets, the sinks, the lavatories, the kitchen, the bathtub, showers, the vents, all those pipes went down an inch, which means there's a couple gallons of water that went somewhere underneath the foundation. If it holds for 20 minutes, you get a test report, no leaks, you're good to go. But once we've once we've got to the point where we know you have a leak, the next process would be to find the leak, figure out where the leak is, and then give a price on excavating to the point to replace or repair whatever's leaking. Now, another scenario, the test report will help an experienced seasoned plumber know if there's more than one leak. On a drain system, back to the glass of water, if you have a little bitty hole halfway down that glass, and then you got a bigger hole right above it, the water level is going to go real fast, that big hole. So when we watch it for 20 minutes, if the water level goes down at a steady rate to one point and then stops, okay, you've got a leak, but we don't stop there. You got a 20-minute test. Well, sometimes it'll gradually keep going at a slower rate, which indicates a smaller hole or multiple holes. So then we'll note on the test report, you have more than one drain leak. And when people ask me, how do you know that? I always revert back to the glass scenario and show them you can tell based on the water level. So hydrostatic just means using water to test it. Also part of our report, we do a spring gauge test, which basically we take a liquid gauge, we put it on your house at an outside faucet. Sometimes if the outside faucets are non-functional, we can use the washing machine ports. There's other accesses. We can hook it to a water heater. But basically we get a liquid gauge, we put it on the house, we shut off your water meter, and we watch the gauge. Average pressure for most of North Texas is between 60 and 90 psi. That gauge will stay at 60 to 90 psi, whatever your house gauge is, and we'll note it on the test report. If it drops within that 20 minutes, then we know you have a leak. Now, if you're thinking, okay, you said 20 to 30 minutes for a test, now we're talking 40 minutes because we got 20 minutes for the drain, 20 minutes for the water. What we do is we get the drain line topped off as soon as possible. As soon as I turn the faucet off, sewer line's full, test is on, we immediately go to the water line system and start testing it. So we can test them both. Our test, typically, we are in and out 30 minutes average per house.